Hey, hey, I made it. I was working actually just got done doing recording my 4 month CFI experience video. Uh, just finished recording that maybe about 30 minutes ago or so. It's uh, it's about, jeez, I ended up talking what ended up being an hour, and so I got about an hour of content on that 4 month working with CFI video, and I'm gonna have to edit it a little bit. I've even put some quick thought into maybe I should put it into two parts, maybe cut it into maybe about 25 minutes each, just because I feel like a 57-minute YouTube video might be a little too long. But I talked about a lot of good things. I mean, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna take me a little while to edit that one, but at least I'm about to be going on home time here pretty soon. I think tomorrow I'm actually gonna be headed home, and I'm gonna be headed home for about a little less than a week, about 5 days of home time. So I'll have time to edit it and get it out there hopefully by Friday. So be on the lookout for that one. That one should be a good one. I tell you, man, like being on this YouTube thing is both fun, but can be very challenging and very difficult, because you have to find time to edit things. You have to find time, one, to actually get the content right, to actually record the content and gather the content, and then you have to find time to edit it, to put it together in a format that doesn't look so trashy and garbage, because otherwise people aren't going to watch your stuff. And then yeah, so it's like almost like being a producer. You know, you have to put all your programming together and make it work, and on top of the fact that you got an actual job that you're doing out here too, with truck driving and whatnot. So if it seems like the output of my videos has maybe gone down a bit, it's because I've been really busy out here driving, which is a good thing, because hey, that's what I want to do out here, right? But it's not for lack of wanting to put more content out there. It's more just because it does get pretty busy out here, and if you're not driving, typically you're resting and you're sleeping. So I try to put out things as much as I can, but it's been pretty good out here. This week has been pretty good. It's been a pretty busy week for me. It was nice to be able to get back on the road after the mishap of not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that, where I got hit at a Love's truck stop. I mean, if you saw the little short that I made that day, yeah, it was not the best way to start my day, but luckily, CFI body shop and whatnot had me back up on the road within the week. Hey, Victor, thanks for the love, Victor. That's all I can say. I try to put out as much as I can. I try to make my content mean something to not just myself, but to the people watching it. So to hear those kinds of things, it always makes me feel pretty good. But I appreciate that, Victor. And I've been trying to do these live spots. I actually, for the first time, I figured out how to schedule these things so that you would actually be able to see when I'll be doing a live video. I figured that might help with anyone that might just feel that these are kind of random. I try to not to make them random. I try to schedule them out to give you a chance to hop on. And as long as we're not on here for like 2 hours, I'll probably post them to the channel. It just takes a while for them to post if they're really long. But I figure these are good to just kind of interact with y'all, give y'all a little bit more of a human feel about me versus a, for the content kind of thing. I'm not acting on when I record my content. It is me, but I do have to be a little bit more, like direct and informative when I'm recording content versus doing these things. I'm just kind of like, let's just kind of let loose. Let's just kind of say whatever. I don't really care when we're doing these. I figured these are good for me to just kind of get to know, for y'all to get to know me better, for me to get to know y'all better. That's what these are kind of for. So, I mean, if you want to ask me any kind of questions during these live spots, now's the time to do them, because that's what I kind of like to do. And kind of like to see what, if y'all want to just see what I've been up to or anything like that, or if you want to tell me what y'all been up to. I don't know much about any of my subscribers. What do y'all like? Tell me in the comments. What do y'all do for a living? Are y'all truck drivers too, or do y'all do different things? Feel free to just chit chat with me and whatnot. That's what I like to do these things for. It's almost like a getaway. It's almost like a getaway for me too, to be able to do these things sometimes. Kind of kill the monotony out here a little bit, because it does kind of get a little repetitive. I'm also gonna drink my my drink while we're doing this, so don't mind me. I'm a little thirsty today, so. But yeah. I had that little accident there, and CFI got me back up, and the body shop got me back up and running within a couple of days. It was kind of nice. I thought for sure that I was gonna be shut down for like a couple of days, like for like 5 or 6 days or something like that. But luckily, the body shop had me up and ready to go the same day. Literally, the body shop was opened up at Monday at 7:30, and I made sure that I went to the shop. I made sure that I went to the shop at 7:30 on Monday, and they had me out of the shop by 9. So it only took them like an hour and a half to replace they had to replace the entire hood, and they had to replace the bumper as well. But it only took them an hour and a half to do all that, and that's it. I had a fixed truck, so I was ready to go, and so I've been rolling ever since, and it's been a really busy week. Oh, very cool, Victor. Hey, Midnight, I saw that. Good luck to you, man. I think the last time we were on here, I think you had said you're going to Truck Dynasty, right? In Springfield, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to tell me that I'm wrong. I think you said you were going to Spring. Or what did you decide? Actually, I think you said you were undecided, right? The last time that we talked. Not that it really matters. I mean, honestly, Truck Dynasty and Crowder are pretty much the same things, just a little bit of a different smell. Now, Victor, you're gonna go get your permit, I think you said. Are you actually going to school for the permit, or are you getting that permit on your own? Oh, that's interesting, Midnight. They usually let you choose where you're gonna go if you want Truck Dynasty or Crowder. That's interesting that they actually haven't told you where you're going or anything. They allowed me to choose whether or not I wanted Crowder or I wanted Truck Dynasty, and I chose Crowder just because I wanted to be honest, because I wanted the free food. I wanted the 3 meals a day, so that's why I was like, that's like I wanted to do that versus having to be responsible to go shopping more often. Oh, that's cool, Victor. Where are you from, Victor? Or are you going to school in the state that you're from, or are you going to school out of state? Because I went through the CFI school. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Oh, nice. So you're learning. You're going to be learning to drive in one of the more difficult states to learn how to drive. to learn to drive a truck. If you learn how to drive a truck in New York, you can drive a truck anywhere. Oh man, I tell you. Yeah, that's good. That's cool though. I mean, if you're able to learn to be taught how to drive a truck in New York, like, you won't have a problem driving a truck anywhere. New York is one of the most difficult places to drive a truck in. Yeah, midnight. What I would do just to make sure, because I will say that the recruiters are usually are pretty busy. They're always on. They're always working calls and working the potential students and whatnot. I would just double check with them. Give your recruiter a call, and just make sure they haven't forgotten about you, because you are unless you're just okay with waiting. Unless you're okay with just playing the wait and sit game. But if you're wanting to move quicker, then I would make sure they haven't forgot about you on that one. That's what I did. My recruiter hunter was pretty good, but I just had to make sure that I gave him, if I felt like I hadn't heard from him in a while, I just wanted to make sure, hey, you haven't forgot about me yet, right? Because I want to get started, ASAP or whatever and whatnot. But yeah, I officially hit over 40,000 miles. I was checking my my mileage, and I'm about at 41,000 miles already with the company. So, geez, I feel like I don't even know how I've got 41,000 miles, but I do. And that if that tells you how hard I've been rolling over these past couple of months, then that should tell you that I've been averaging about 10,000 miles a month, which I personally think is pretty good for somebody that has never done this before. For me to be able to hit 10,000 miles on average a month is pretty good. It's about what I wanted to be doing. So in about a year, if I play my cards right and I continue to do it this way, when I hit the 1 year mark, I should be able to hit over 100,000, which I think would be really, really good to put on the resume and whatnot, especially if they're all safe mileage. That's the key, right? We want to make sure that we get our experience with safe miles on it. That looks good on your resume and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, so Midnight, I'm going to answer your question first, and then Victor, I'll go to you. How much stuff did I bring with me for training? Now, this is I guess I'll tell you what I brought, and it might be different for you depending on where you're going, because of where I was in the dorm at Crowder. I didn't want to bring a lot with me because I knew that it was possible that I might be sharing a room with somebody. Because the setup at Crowder is you're going to be sharing a dorm with the other students, and each dorm has, I think, 2 or 3 rooms, but each room is fitted for 2 people per room. I got lucky when I went that it was just me and one other guy in my class, so we each got our own room. But in a situation where there would be like, let's just say more than 4 people, you would have to share a room with somebody. So I packed based on that notion. So I didn't take a lot with me. I took maybe like a week and a half's worth of clothing, with the idea that I'd have to do laundry at least once during my time there. And then I just brought a little bit of entertainment. Like I brought my laptop with me, and I brought my Switch with me, and then that was pretty much all I brought with me. I didn't really bring. I did bring pillows and a blanket with me. Don't forget pillows and don't forget blankets. If you do go to Springfield, if you do Truck Dynasty, they're going to put you in a hotel, so you won't really have to worry about pillows and blankets there. But if you do go to Crowder, the dorm rooms don't come with blankets and don't come with pillows, so you will have to make sure you bring your own. You'll want to bring your own anyways, just to be prepared, because you do go straight from the school to Joplin, where you'll be going for training. And when you go with your trainer, you want to make sure that you have your own pillow and blanket, because they may not have one for you, and you may have to end up going to buy one if you don't have one. But that's pretty much all I took with me. I did take a towel with me just in case I needed a towel. Just bare essential stuff, bare essential things really. Roll of toilet paper, obviously all my toiletry stuff, to be able to do my, my personal hygiene routines and whatnot, and stuff like that. But I tried not to pack too heavy, because you have to pack with the idea that you're not only packing for school, but you're also packing for the 3 weeks that you're going to be with the trainer. So if you overpack, you may be stuck in a dilemma where you might have to leave some of your things at CFI, at the terminal, in one of the lockers, because you brought too many things with you, and you're not going to be able to fit them in your trainer's truck. So just keep that in mind, that just pack as much as you kind of need to get you by for now. And then when you get your own truck and you're able to go home, then you can pack as much things as you want to bring with you at that point. That's what I would do. That's what I did. And it worked out for me just fine. Obviously, you'll get the opportunity while you're in school to visit, like a Walmart or something, where you can go buy, your own kind of snacks and groceries and stuff like that if you see fit, and whatnot. When you get there, you'll get a better idea for if you want to go and add additional things to the things that you brought. And then Victor, your question was, how is the training with CFI? The training was terrible. It was awful. I'm just kidding. As far as the training goes, I had a very unique situation, because my trainer I was his first student and whatnot. So, going through my first ever truck driving training with the first timer trainer was interesting for the both of us. It was the first time. I was his first student. But the good thing is that we meshed very well together as far as personalities were concerned, and the goal that we were both setting out to get out of the training, which was, he wanted to make sure that I was trained up, and I wanted to make sure that I was getting the proper training to get me ready to go on my own. And so we both had that same mindset, so it helped that when it came to being with him for 3 weeks, I felt like I got about as much as I could out of him, and I think that he had a good experience with me, getting a first experience with having a student on board, because obviously he's continued to take on more students, so I didn't ruin the student experience for him. I feel like if I would have been like a terrible student, he probably would have just given up on being a trainer at that point. But so I think it was pretty good. I mean, I got as much as I could out of it. Hey, Oz, good to see you again. But I feel like I got as much as I could out of the training. You can only do so much in 3 weeks, though. Like, you're not going to be able to go and see every kind of situation. So, Midnight, that's a good question, and that's something that I did cover in one of the videos when I first started the channel, about what you learn at school and whatnot. Because it's a really fast-paced program and they're pushing you through the program in 3 weeks, they are not going to spend a lot of time with you one-on-one on the pre-trip. On the pre-trip, they're going to spend, I think, like the first day going over it, and then after that, it's all on you. Now, I'm not sure how it would work at Truck Dynasty, but at Crowder, they give you a booklet on the pre-trip, and they tell you you can come at any time after, before, after class, on the weekend. They have the trucks are out there in the yard, and you can open them up. You can open the hoods up and stuff on them, and you can go and practice your pre-trip. But you do have to practice that and memorize it on your own. But they do give you materials like the pamphlet, and they give you and there's a YouTube video on Crowder's website, on Crowder's YouTube page, that has a full entire video walkthrough of the pre-trip. And then I also put a walkthrough of the pre-trip on my channel as well. It's kind of towards the beginning of the life of the channel, but I do have a couple of pre-trip videos on there. Maybe if you want to look through those, maybe those will help you out a little bit. But they will honestly not spend a lot of time with you on the pre-trip, they're going to spend more time with you on the maneuvers, on the backing up maneuvers, and on driving. That's really what you're going to spend most of the time on at school doing. You're not really going to spend. They're not going to spend a lot of one-on-one time with you on the pre-trip. That's going to be on you to learn. So just make sure that when you're not in class, I would make sure to put some time away to just continue to study your pre-trip. If you're more of a visual person, I would take the time to go to one of the practice trucks and actually, like mock out a pre-trip, like if you were doing one. One of the things that hopefully your classmates will be cool and will be nice, and they'll want to work with you, because my classmate worked with me, and we worked together on our pre-trips. Like we kind of did them, like I did it and he listened to me, and then he did it and I listened to him, and we kind of helped each other out when it came to that was pretty good, but you missed this, and whatnot, and that helped us out, and we both passed the pre-trip with flying colors on that one. The training is it's 21 days, right? Like you're going to be with your trainer, and in those 21 days you do have to log not so much you have to log hours, not miles. You have to log 120 drive hours, like you being the driver, and you have to log 100, and I think it's 140 on duty hours. But if you do the math, I mean, there shouldn't be any reason why you shouldn't be able to get 120 drive hours in that 3-week span. Shouldn't be any reason you shouldn't be able to hit that by the time you get back to Joplin to do your testing, to do your test out. If you don't have the 120 miles, 120 hours logged, by the time you're ready to go back to Joplin, you're not going to be able to go back. They're going to keep you out with your trainer until you have those hours logged. But shouldn't be any reason that you shouldn't be able to get your 120 hours of drive time logged by the time you get back in those 21 days. However, there is this thing too, right? Something to keep in mind about, especially here at CF, if you're coming to CFI, is if you feel like you need an extra week of time because you don't feel comfortable after 21 days, make sure you tell your trainer that, so that either the trainer that you're currently with, that y'all can stay out a little bit longer till you feel comfortable, or to where they might throw you with another trainer for another week or so, just to make sure that you are comfortable with being ready to go. Because once you say, as long as you have those hours logged, right? If you say I'm ready to test out, and you go and test out, that's on you. That's not on the trainer or the training staff. If you said you were ready to go and you weren't, so that's something to be aware of. That you can request more training time if you need it. As far as the test out goes, it consists of 4 things. Is it 4 things? Yes, 4 things. The first thing that you'll do is you'll go with one of the safety instructors, and you will complete a full pre-trip inspection, just like you would have done on your CDL exam. You'll do a pre-trip with the safety inspector. It's a little more laid back. It's not as technical as you need to be on the CDL exam. Really, the purpose is the safety people want to make sure you know what it is you're talking about and how to actually do a pre-trip inspection, because it's one of the most important parts of your job, is to do your inspections correctly. So just want to make sure that you do that correctly. Then they'll take you out. They'll either take you out on a drive, or you'll start doing the backing maneuvers. And so you'll do a drive. You'll do a little bit of city driving. You'll do a little bit of highway driving, just like you would have kind of done on the CDL exam. You'll do that. They're just going to be monitoring that you understand how to drive a truck on the road, that you're safe, that you're following, that you're reading all the signs, that you're looking at your mirrors, that you're braking properly, that you're adhering to the speed limits, that you're switching lanes correctly, you're exiting correct, all that fun stuff. And then after that, you'll do your backing procedures, and it's going to be a straight back, and it's going to be a 45-degree back in between, which you'll put the trailer in between two other trailers. And as long as you can complete those things, they'll go ahead and upgrade you to your own truck at that point. If for whatever reason you fail, then you'll probably have to go through a little bit more training, and then you can test out again, and then you'll go from there. But that's why I'm saying that if you don't feel like you're comfortable leaving your trainer, then make sure you're vocal about needing more training time before you go and test out. That's all I can say about that one. Oops. Yeah, guys, I can't wait to... I like being out here. It's fun and everything, and it's pretty cool. But I honestly can't wait to take a little vacation. I want to go home for a little bit and see some friends and family and whatnot. And I got some things that I want to get done, just personal things I want to get done at home. I like to do things like art and whatnot. And before going back on that just a little bit, Midnight, it sounds intense, but it's not. Like, one of the things I will tell you is don't be intimidated by any of this. The worst thing you can do out here is be intimidated by all of this, because it's just going to make you nervous, and nervousness causes mistakes. And that's the best thing I can tell you, is that it seems intense, but it really is not. You got to think about it that by the time you get to the final test, you would have already been through almost a month of school and another month of training and driving. So having all of that experience should help you feel comfortable by the time you get with that safety inspector to do the final test, the test out or whatever. Like, don't be nervous. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. Like, you'll be all right. Like, it seems intense, but it really is not. It's just you got to think about it as it's just another day in the park, right? You're just driving. You're just going for another drive, like you have been doing for the previous 3 weeks. You're gonna back up the trailer like you've been doing for the past 3 weeks. You're gonna be doing a pre-trip like you've been doing for the past three weeks or whatever, right? So that's all you got to think about it like. It's fine. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. Piece of cake. Nothing to worry about. Oh man. But it's been cool out here, man. I'm in a small little town here in Texas right now, trying to get to our Seagoville lot, which is just a little bit outside of Dallas. It's maybe like less than 10 miles outside of Dallas, east of Dallas. That yard is kind of a small one, but I mean, it's not really small as much as it is full of junk. I mean, half the yard is full of trucks that are either not in use anymore, and like a couple of the trailers are kind of messed up there, so it makes it look kind of junky in there. Like, it's just crowded. I guess junky is not the right word. I guess crowded is the better word to use. It's just crowded with things that aren't in use, which creates a little bit of turmoil in the yard as far as like finding parking spots and being able to put your trailer in the right place and whatnot, because it just becomes a very kind of crammed area when it's actually one of the bigger terminals that we got. It's got a lounge area. It's got it's either 3 or 4 showers, and laundry area, and a little vending area too. So I don't know, but it's a little it's a little messy there in Seagoville. Good people that work at the Seagoville yard, but it's a little messy over there. That's where I'm headed to tomorrow. Got a late night drive. I'm gonna start probably like around 1 o'clock in the morning. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna get some sleep. Um, Sorry, Midnight. I think you asked me something. What's the average paycheck? This is something that I went into a little bit in the video that I recorded that I'm going to be posting on Friday. I don't mind giving you a little bit of a preview of that, though. It depends, right? Because it's not consistent, because it's all dependent on how you drive and how you use your time. That's what really kind of determines the pay that you're going to get. The one thing that is knowing what your pay scale is per mile, right? So to start off, I believe you get 34 cents a mile while you're training with your trainer. So while you're sitting there with your trainer, whether he's the one driving or you're the one driving, you're getting paid 34 cents a mile. And then when you go solo, I think they should start you off at 42 cents a mile. And then once you hit your first 30,000 miles on your own, then you'll get bumped to 47 cents. Now that's how it is right now. That could change depending on if CFI wants to increase their per mile pay scale. But as far as right now is concerned, I believe that's how the scale works. So the best thing I can tell you is to take those numbers and times it to an average of about 2,000 to 3,000 miles a week, which is what you can do if you want to drive hard, right? If you want, which means you're gonna use your whole 70 hours of driving every week, and you're going to take your 10-hour breaks and just take them at 10 hours, and you're going to take your 34-hour breaks and you're going to only take those 34 hours. You're not going to take any more than that, right? Because in some instances you will get into some spots where you'll be able to say, I'm not just going to take a 10-hour break today. I'm going to take a 14-hour break because I can, right? Or because I got some lax time or some open time, right, that I can take a little bit more. Or I got a 34 coming up, I might just take 35. You know what I mean? If you're tight with your time, then that's where you can maybe put some more miles down, and you'll get more pay that way. You can also run on recaps. If you want to try to run consistently, you can then run on recaps when you get to that 8th day, instead of taking a 34, and you can just run on recaps. And that's another way to maybe pile up some extra miles onto your week to help increase that pay. But I can't really give you a number, because I don't want to give you an inaccurate number. Although based on just basic math, with those numbers that I gave you, you should be able to average about 1,000 a week. If you're doing well, you may even get a little bit higher than that, but you should be able to average about I'd say about 8 to 1,000 a week, if you go by the math and the miles that I gave you. So if you feel like that kind of fits into what you can afford, right, as far as if you got bills or stuff like that, then you should be able to make that work. If you don't feel like that's going to work for you, then definitely rethink what you're getting yourself into. Just being honest, like really put it into thought what you're getting yourself into. If you feel like the amount is not going to be enough to cover your personal expenses, whatever that may be, then you may need to put the brakes on and assess and make sure, because the worst thing you want to do, in my opinion, is put in all the time for this, right? The training, the school, the sacrifice that you're making for family, for friends, for for your sleep that you're gonna lose a little bit and whatnot. All of that stuff, like all that you're gonna put yourself through just to figure out, wow, that's not gonna work for me money wise. Like, well, you just, instead of wasting your time, just go and figure something else out. But if that actually works for you, then then you'll have a better idea how that's going to work. But it's all going to be dependent. You won't really get a good feel for it until you get out here on your own and you start figuring out how to pre-trip correctly, how to utilize your time correctly, how what your loads typically look like after a couple of months. You'll get a better feel for that, and you'll be able to kind of say, all right, like I pretty much have averaged over these past 4 weeks this many miles a week, so that's cool. I can handle that. That's good. So you'll know what to expect every week. Of course, keep in mind when you first start off here with CFI, you are not going to get vacation time for the first 6 months of employment. So all the home time that you accumulate every week that you're on the road is not paid home time. I'll make that very clear, that you accumulate 1 day per 7 days, 1 day of home time per 7 days that you're out here on the road, but that's unpaid home time. So if you decide that you're going to go home for 5 days or 6 days in a row, just know you're not getting paid for any of those days. So that will also affect what your weekly pay might look like for that particular month or whatever, if you take, a consecutive amount of days off during a pay period or something like that, right? So that's why I'm saying that I can't tell you you're going to make $1,000 a week, because I'd be lying to you, because if you take some time off, that's going to affect how much you're going to get paid. So you may only make $400 that week because you took 4 days off during that week, right? So that might affect what you make that week. Just something to think about as well. Then once you've been here for 6 months, they'll start letting you accumulate vacation time, paid vacation time, and then you can start taking time off, but also get paid for some of it as well. And that's what I'm looking forward to. But it's good, because one of the things I learned out here, and that I try to do, is while I'm out here, I try to run pretty hard, just so that when I go home, I can go home and be comfortable, if that makes sense, right? Because the worst thing you want to do is go home. At least for me, this is how I feel. Like, I don't want to go home and feel like, and have in the back of my mind thinking like, man, do I have enough money to cover this? Do I have enough money to cover that? I don't want to think about that stuff when I go home. When I go home, I want to think about having fun, relaxing, hanging out with friends and family, eating the local foods that I miss eating when I'm home. Those kinds of things. Those are the kinds of things I want to be concerned about when I go home. I don't want to be concerned about, man, like, I don't have enough money to do this. Do I have enough money to do that? So when I'm out here, I'm like, that's one of my goals out here, right? Drive hard. Hey, Big Dave, what's up? So drive hard, get the miles in, get the experience in, and accumulate all that cash, so that then I'll have enough so I can take some time off and be comfortable during my time off, and not really have to worry about not having enough money in my bank or anything like that to cover expenses and stuff while I'm not working. Home time should be home time. It should be, you get away from the truck for a little bit, and you get away from the truck for a while and you relax. Am I able to say, personally, me? Yes. And that's because I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So for me, yes, I'm able to save a little bit of money that I make out here every month. I do have things at home that I still pay for personally, like I still pay for rent, and I still pay for a car and stuff like that, right? and all that fun stuff. But I am able to save, put money in the bank and save it um, while doing this. But everybody's situation is different, right? So if you got kids to feed, if you got spouses to support, and you got a house payment, and you got 2 or 3 cars, I don't know, everybody has different situations, right? So you may not be able to save any money. You may just be making enough money to cover your bills. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on your situation and how you spend money, and all that fun stuff like that. To me, I feel like this job should be a job where you should be able to save some money, right? But like I said, everybody's situation is different. Everybody spends their money differently, and so in some situations it may not be a good fit for people. But I mean, I think if you're out here, and you actually drive, and you roll hard, you should be able to have enough to pay your bills and still have enough to put a little bit out on the side and whatnot. Of course, as time goes along and you build your resume up and stuff like that, you'll have more opportunities to put yourself out there and see if maybe you can get one of the higher paying jobs in trucking. But those kinds of things don't come until after you've had at least a year to 2 years of driving experience. Like, you kind of got to put your what's the best way? You got to pay your dues out here a little bit before you can go out there and try to see what you can get out of this, right? To me, I feel like that's how this works. I'm not going to go out there right now and look for a job that's like it's going to pay me 65 cents or 70 cents a mile, because I don't think I deserve that right now. I don't think I deserve to be paid like that because I don't have the experience. So why would I, why would I do that? Insurance costs out of the check. That's also kind of dependent on what kind of insurance you want. Insurance is 100% optional. Here at CFI, it's not mandatory. It's not a mandatory buy-in. And it's also not fully, what I can say is, if you only want vision and dental, you can just get the vision and dental, and you can X out the medical. If you just want the medical, don't want the vision and dental, you can do that too. If you want all three, you can do all three. The vision and the dental packages are only one options per. They're fairly cheap options, less than $30 a month for those combined. And then the health insurance, it just depends on how much health insurance you need, how much you want. If you have, once again, it goes back to, do you have kids that you want to put on your insurance? Do you have spouses that you want to put on your health insurance? Because those things affect the pricing of it, right? For me, I'm single. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So I just buy what I need for myself. So for me, I think I only pay like maybe $100 a month for health insurance through the company. So, but that's just for me. Like, and I usually don't go to the doctor very often. And knocking on wood, I don't really get hurt very often, and I don't have really bad health ailments where I need to see a doctor constantly. So I buy kind of the middle of the road insurance. So it only ends up costing me about $100 a month for health insurance. But it just depends on you, right? Like, if you want the higher end health insurance, go get the higher one. I mean, I don't know. If you feel like you don't need any health insurance, don't get it. You don't have to. It's totally not mandatory. It's optional. I would get it just because I feel like it doesn't cost that much, and you basically, like, your portion of it that comes out of your pay, you basically pay for it in a week, right? Like, if you put it all together with how much you earn out here driving, you basically end up paying for your health insurance for the month in the first week. So it's not a big deal to me. I will say this, if you work for CFI and most mega carriers, they are going to make you sign up for the per diem program, because you can't sign up as an independent here because you're a company driver. So you're going to work off of a W-2 instead of not a 1099 when it comes to taxes. So you're going to work off of off of their per diem program. And what that per diem program is they're going to take out like $14 a month out of your $14 a check, excuse me, $14 a week out of your check to be a part of the per diem program. But what that per diem program does is it takes I think it takes about, I need to get the actual number on this because it's very important actually, but I think it's about 10% of your weekly pay, like, or 10% of your weekly pay will be non-taxable for that week. Here's the important part to remember about this though. So what that means is you're gonna get more in your pocket right away per week versus all of it going to taxes. So you'll pocket more per week, right? Because of the per diem, because that percentage will be untaxable, go straight to your pocket. But what's very important to do is to make sure, this is where I think that building yourself a little bit of a nest egg is important, because when it comes to tax time next year, there's a big possibility that you may actually end up owing some taxes at the end of the year, depending on how you file your taxes, right? So there's a chance that you may have a tax bill waiting for you next year because you pocketed more of that every week as you've gone along as part of the per diem program. Something to keep in mind. Just make sure you have a little bit of extra money put aside, so that when it comes to tax season, if you get a surprise and you figure out, oh crap, like I owe $500 in taxes because not enough got withheld from my checks. So now I owe the government $500, and I don't have $500 to give them. So just make sure that you keep yourself a little bit of extra money on the side that's just kind of there, almost like an emergency fund kind of thing. Call it your Uncle Sam fund. Call it Uncle Sam's GoFundMe account, right? Because that's where it's going. That's where it's going to go to. It's going to go straight into Uncle Sam's fucking pocket, man. God damn it. But anyways, yeah, just something to keep in mind, that you will have to sign up for the per diem program, and that's how that works. I mean, you'll get more money in your pocket every week, but you may have to pay some of that back during tax season the following year. When you become an independent, right, you can then file a 1099 tax return, which means that which means you can file a 1090. I forget what it is. It's like a 1099 something, but as an independent contractor. And then at that point, you're responsible 100% for your taxes and for your expenses and everything. But you can claim all of your expenses throughout the entire year. Any single trucking expense that you had, you can claim it on your taxes once you're an independent. You can't do that under the per diem program. So it ain't even worth it to keep things like receipts and stuff like that. When you're a company driver, it's not even worth it to keep receipts and stuff like that for tax purposes, because once they see that you were a part of the per diem program as a company driver, the IRS is just going to say, nope, can't qualify any of your itemized deductions for truck driving because you're a per diem driver. So it ain't even worth it to waste your time in keeping receipts and whatnot. Now, if you're an independent driver, you're an independent contractor, yes, keep every single receipt that you get from anything to do with your truck. Keep your receipts, use it on your taxes. Everything is tax deductible. Things to keep in mind out here, man. Like, there's a lot that goes into this business, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff. I guess it kind of just depends on the person, I guess. how much responsibility, especially right now. I will say, being an independent, being an owner operator, man, it's got to be tough right now with fuel prices and how they are right now. It's got to be tough to have to dump, 50% of your profits into fuel. Oh man, like that's just majorly sucks for owner operators right now. I do not have any desire to be a owner operator right now, but talk to me in like maybe a year or two, and I might be able to talk myself into being an owner operator at that point. Maybe trying it out to see how it works out. Maybe buying a truck and a trailer, and just seeing how it works out for me for a little while. And if I don't like it, I can always just sell off the assets and become a company driver again. No harm, no foul, right? That's the way I see it. But yeah. But yeah, guys, it's been a hell of a time out here, and and I can't wait to go home for a little while. I got the newest video that I just recorded. It's gonna be my 4-month CFI review video. Just a couple of things that I've learned on the road being out here for 4 months and 40,000 miles. I got that. I should be dumping that one out probably Friday. I'm gonna need a little bit of time to edit it. It's a pretty long one, so I'm thinking I might just break it down into 2 parts and see where that goes. I don't want to kill the algorithm by dumping a 1-hour video on the channel, because I know that those videos typically are the ones that YouTube doesn't push out because they're too long. So I might chop it up a bit just to kind of be able to play into the algorithm and whatnot. But I do appreciate all the love and support that y'all give me all the time out here. I personally like doing these live chats because it gives me an opportunity to get a little just face-to-face with y'all, although I don't see y'all's faces, but I can at least see what y'all are saying and whatnot. And it's nice just to talk out here, because sometimes it does, as you can see, there's nobody else in here with me. It's just me and a bunch of noise and this cell phone. So it's nice to be able to get on this thing sometimes and just talk with y'all, and not in a recorded video format, in a format where we can just have live interaction with each other. So I'll continue to try to do these at least once a week. Next week, I don't know if I will be doing one, because I'll just be coming back from home time. So I like to get myself in the groove of things before kind of relaxing a bit. But we'll see. I might shoot for maybe next Thursday or next Friday to do another one of these. If y'all want to see what I typically like to do during my home time, let me know. I wouldn't mind recording a little bit of what I do when I'm at home. I feel like home time is very important in this job, and I think being able to share what I do on a personal basis is, I think it's good to let y'all in a little bit. I don't mind. I don't have anything to hide. I mean, I'm not the most exciting guy or anything like that, but I think being able to see what you're capable of being able to do when you're at home, I think is important to anybody thinking about getting into the trucking industry. But hey, if y'all want to see anything like that, let me know, and I'll be more than glad to record just some of what I do on home time. But as always, guys, thanks for the likes, for the subscriptions. Remember to ring the bell so you can get notifications when I schedule these things out. Yeah, I'll continue to see y'all down the road, man, and whatnot. I just before I go, I'll answer that question for you, Midnight, and I'm going to take off. When you say they, who do you mean they, as far as inspecting your truck is concerned? Because when you drive into the CFI terminal, the main one in Joplin, they'll inspect your truck and your trailer when you drive in. It's expected. Okay, that one, no. When you drive into CFI Joplin, after you've been on the road for a while and you go to the Joplin terminal, You will have to go through the inspection bay where they'll inspect they'll inspect under the hood, the back of the tractor. They'll inspect the trailer, and that's it. They'll make sure that it's mechanically sound, everything's working okay, nothing's broken, right? All that fun stuff. That's your opportunity to tell them that if you need to go to the tractor shop, go to the tractor shop and get some repairs done. If you feel like you need to have those done, that's your time to do that. They will never inspect inside of your cab unless you give them a reason to. And what I mean by that is, you have to have given them some kind of an odd reason to check the inside of your cab, like you said. And the only way that I think that they would actually do that is if you were the one that made the comment about that made them feel like, what is he hiding in there? Like, why did he say that? That kind of thing. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to check your cab. Now, it's different when it comes to a DOT inspection on the road, right? Like if you get pulled over, or if you get pulled in for an inspection at a weigh station, at that point, they have the right to be able to inspect not only the inside, not only the outside of the tractor and the trailer, but in your cab. If they feel that there is a safety concern on the inside of your cab, they can come in and inspect the inside of your cab. So the best thing that I can tell you is, when it comes to the inside of your cab, keep it clean. As you can see here, I don't consider this, I got a cup here, but I'm drinking that. I'm going to throw that in the trash. But if you look around, I don't have a bunch of trash on the dash. I don't have a bunch of trash on the seats. That is those, my snacks are right there, and they're all organized in my little cubbies. I don't have a bunch of trash on the floor. I don't have a bunch of junk everywhere. Like some of these guys, you'll see stuff on their dash, and it'll just be full of papers and full of crap everywhere, and all over the floor. They'll have all kinds of junk and everything. And those are the ones that the DOT sees, and they're like, all right, it's time to do a full inspection of this whole thing, and you're going to get some tickets. So keep your cab clean, just in the event that you might get someone to come in and do a DOT inspection. But as far as CFI is concerned, they'll never inspect your cab unless you give them a reason to, and it would have to be just a circumstance that you said something or you did something that just made them feel like, we probably need to look in his truck because something isn't right. But it's not they don't do that on a regular basis, no. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take off. I need to get some sleep before I start driving, and then it's home time and vacation time for me, guys. So I'll see y'all hopefully next time live for another live next week. Until then, be on the lookout for that 4-month CFI video. It should be dropping either Friday or Saturday. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for joining me and supporting me and helping me just keep me company out here. But I'll see y'all guys later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, guys.